Listen to me, look at me, hold on now, because what I'm about to say ain't one of them scroll past headlines you can ignore like a cousin's group text. This one reach right into your grocery cart, your job offer, your kids' college plans, and how the world look at America and India right now. And when I say the world, I mean Israel done cleared its throat and said something about India that made a whole lot of diplomats stop mid-sip. Steve adjusts his suit jacket, pauses, gives that long silent stare, yeah. That stare right there, that's for everybody who thought global politics was some boring thing that happened in closed rooms with bad coffee. I tell you something. You ever been at a family reunion where two uncles fall out over who borrowed the lawnmower back in '98? Everybody smiling at first, potato salad on the table, then boom. Somebody bring up the past, voices get loud, and now the whole reunion awkward. That's America and India right now. Two folks who used to grill together, now standing on opposite sides of the yard, arms folded, talking through other people. You gotta be kidding me. Now listen. When Israel makes a public statement that causes New Delhi to shift in its chair, that ain't random. That's chess, not checkers. And India is starting to play Chinese checkers. Yeah, I said it. Because while Washington talking tough with tariffs and reciprocal, this and that, India looking around the room like, okay, who still got my back? Steve squints, tilts head, and that's when Beijing and Moscow start clearing their throats like, well, since you ask, let me make this plain. Trade wars ain't tweets. They don't live on cable news panels. They show up in prices, jobs, visas, and silence between allies who used to pick up the phone on the first ring. Folks hearing about these massive tariff numbers being thrown around, numbers so big they sound like monopoly money, and think it's just government posturing. No, sir, no, ma'am, that's like your landlord threatening to double the rent and saying, relax, it's just leverage. Leverage still hurt when it come down on your neck, and don't even get me started on the visa mess. You work hard, you study hard, you follow the rules, and now you hearing figures attached to opportunity that make you blink twice like. Did I read that right? Steve leans forward. This ain't just paperwork. This is about who gets to dream where. And when dreams get priced out, resentment move in. Every time. Now here's where it get real uncomfortable. While all this tension cooking, we got diplomacy happening behind closed doors that feel like a throwback episode nobody asked for. Old rivals, fragile ceasefires, and familiar names popping back up in negotiations like that uncle who always say, I can fix this. Even though he started the argument, long stare, audience murmurs, hum. History got a sense of humor, don't it? What people missing is this. None of this is isolated. Israel saying something about India, America tightening screws, India recalculating friendships, Pakistan watching every move like a neighbor peeking through the blinds, energy deals shifting, food security whispers getting louder. This ain't chaos, it's transition, and transition always feel loud before it settle. So before you change the channel, before you say, this don't affect me, let me tell you like I tell folks on my stage, everybody in this room connected. You pull one thread in this suit, the whole jacket start looking funny. Steve smooths lapel, locks eyes, and right now. The stitching is under pressure. All right now, stay with me, look at me. This where folks usually nod like they understand, but they don't really get it. So I'm. Slow this thing down like Sunday traffic after church. You gotta ask yourself one simple question. Why now? Why all this pressure all at once on India? Tariffs jacked up like somebody mad at the electric bill. Visa doors getting heavier, and America talking reciprocal. Like I hit you, you hit me back. Steve pauses, presses lips together, silent stare that stare right there. That's me realizing this ain't emotional. This is strategic. Let's talk tariffs first. A 50% wall on Indian goods ain't a warning shot. That's a full body shove. That hit textiles, pharmaceuticals, auto parts, industrial machinery, stuff that quietly sits inside American supply chains like that one screw you don't notice until it's missing, and America's explanation. Fairness, reciprocity, translation. If I feel you leaning on me, I'll lean back harder. But here's the thing folks don't wanna say out loud. India didn't wake up one morning and decide to be difficult. India been trying to protect its farmers, its food supply, its energy security. That whole fight over genetically modified crops, that ain't ideology, that's survival. When you got hundreds of millions of farmers, you don't gamble their livelihood on somebody else's seed patent. Steve raises eyebrow. That's like letting your neighbor decide what your kids eat because he got coupons. Now energy. Lord have mercy, energy. India still needs oil, gas, coal, real stuff, not just promises. And when Western partners start attaching more strings than a marionette, guess what happens? India starts shopping where the salesmen don't ask so many questions. Russia says cash or rupees. China says infrastructure for influence. Steve shakes head slowly, see. That ain't betrayal, that's arithmetic. This is where the Chinese checkers of move come in. India ain't abandoning America. It's hedging. When you feel boxed in, you don't run straight ahead. You move sideways. You make space, and Washington don't like sideways moves. Washington likes straight lines and loud loyalty. Now let's talk about them visas, because this one hurt folks personally. That H-1B situation. When the cost of bringing skilled workers jumps into six figures, that's not regulation. That's a deterrent. That's America saying, we still want talent, but only if you real serious. Steve leans back, exhales, but talent got options now. Canada, Europe, the Gulf, India looking around like, wait a minute, y'all acting like we don't got choices. And all of this is happening while South Asia sitting on a pressure cooker. That India Pakistan ceasefire. Fragile, everybody know it. When a familiar political figure step in to broker calm, that tell you how thin the ice really is. Because peace held together by personalities don't last as long as peace held together by trust. Steve gives that slow blink and trust right now, few, in short supply. Here's the cold truth. America want alignment. India want autonomy. Those two words sound polite, but they collide. One side says, stand with us. The other says, stand beside us. Big difference. And then Israel speaks up, strategic partner to both sides. When Israel publicly recalibrate how it talks about India, that's a signal flare, not condemnation, calculation. Israel reads the room better than most. When they shift tone, it means the room done changed. So the why behind all this power is decentralizing. No one country gets to set all the rules anymore. And every time that reality show up, somebody try to force the old order back into place. Steve straightens tie, but history don't rewind easy. All right now, come on back in here with me. Sit up straight, because this the part where everybody asks, okay, Steve. So what now? Steve steps forward, smooths the jacket, lets the silence breathe. I tell you what's next. What's next ain't gonna feel dramatic at first. It's gonna feel quiet. And quiet shifts are the ones that change your life without asking permission. For America, this moment is about deciding whether power means control or partnership. You can't keep raising the volume and expect loyalty to come back louder. At some point, folks stop arguing and start adapting. Businesses already doing it, supply chains rerouting, tech talent planting flags elsewhere. When doors get heavier, people find windows. That ain't rebellion, that's human nature. Steve nods slowly, same way you don't keep shopping at a store that treats you like you stealing. For India, this is a test of balance. You can't fully replace the U.S. market overnight. You can't swap decades of defense, tech, and financial ties like changing phone plans, but you can diversify. You can leverage geography, population, manufacturing scale. India's next move ain't loud. It's patient, more local production, more non-dollar trade, more regional leadership. Steve points gently that's grown folk strategy and for the rest of the world watching. This is the blueprint. Middle powers learning how to say no without slamming the door. Allies learning that pressure works. Until it don't. Israel, the Gulf states, Southeast Asia. They're all reading the same memo. Don't bet your future on one voice staying friendly forever. Now let me bring this home to you, because somebody watching right now saying, Steve, I'm just trying to pay rent. Why I care? Steve leans in, eyes locked. You care because this decides where jobs go. Where prices land, who gets educated where, who gets trusted, who gets time. When tariffs rise, costs pass down. When visas tighten, innovation slows or moves. When diplomacy gets personal, peace gets fragile. And when the world fragments, uncertainty gets expensive every time. But here's the motivation part. Because I don't leave people hanging in fear, this shift also means opportunity. New markets open. New alliances form. New leaders step up. Times like this reward people and nations who stay flexible, informed, and calm. Panic don't win eras. Preparation do. So if you an entrepreneur, watch where supply chains move. If you a student, watch where talent is welcomed. If you a voter, pay attention to who understands diplomacy beyond slogans. And if you just a human being trying to make sense of the noise, remember this. The world ain't ending. It's rearranging. Steve gives that famous long stare, then softens. Every generation get one moment where the rules change. This is one of those moments. Don't look away. Don't fall for simple answers to complex questions. And don't underestimate how fast today's trade dispute becomes tomorrow's new world order.